Hi everyone, as you'll have seen over the weekend, there have been further announcements on the temporary extension of the furlough scheme and also some other employment related issues which I'll just discuss in this video. The first is on working from home. So aside from the enforced workplace closures, for example in non-essential retail, the government guidance now states that everyone who can work effectively from home must do so. Where they cannot do so, they should continue to travel to work or attend their workplace. A little bit less restrictive than the announcements back in the spring, and it does now require a subjective assessment from the employer as to whether or not an employee can work effectively or not. So I do expect to see fewer workplace closures, but each business will have to assess whether or not some or all of their staff can now move to working from home again. There is no real change to shielding guidance, so the government is only advising those who are clinically extremely vulnerable to shield, and they reflect on eligibility for statutory sick pay in those circumstances. But those who are clinically vulnerable, who did meet the requirements previously to be required to shield, are being told still to go to work wherever possible, and just to minimise contacts and follow enhanced hygiene rules. The job retention scheme has been extended for a further month. There will be no gap in the provision of support, so it does apply from the 1st of November. The eligibility seems to have been widened quite significantly, so all employers with a UK bank account can claim. Neither the employer or employee needs to have previously used the scheme. Employees have to be on payroll by 30th of October, so an RTI submission has to have been made in respect of an employee prior to the 30th of October to be eligible. But it does now seem to include those who would have been restricted under the previous scheme, and new employees can therefore be furloughed. For the hours not worked, the government will pay 80% of wages up to a cap of £2,500. So just as the scheme was in August, the employer will be required to pay pension and NI contributions, and flexible along with full-time furloughing is continuing to be allowed. So the job support scheme, which was due to come into place on the 1st of November, is now postponed. On a practical level, I think if employees have been furloughed up to the 31st of October and you're simply wanting to continue with the same arrangement, it's just a case of writing to the employee confirming those arrangements will continue in accordance with the previous rules that you've communicated. If we are wanting to furlough new employees or re-furlough people who previously come back to work, I would suggest a new agreement is put in place just to evidence that that has been agreed with the employees. So we do expect further guidance again over the coming days, and we will of course keep you up to date. Thank you.